Okay, back for part 2. So, when you begin automatic writing, really all you need is some paper and a pencil or a pen, whatever, and for you just to clear your mind and to just write the first thing that comes to your mind. Don't correct it. Don't worry about spelling. Don't worry about any of that. Don't worry about grammar. Nothing. This has nothing to do with the rational side of your mind. This is a purely intuitive, impulsive, you just let it flow. Many times in the book of planetary influences that we have, the first couple words, paragraphs, whatever, are absolute utter gibberish. And all of a sudden, this clear, concise work just jumps out of the page at you. And you can tell, I know people who have written in this book, I know what they write and what they talk about, and you can tell there's a very separate entity coming through them. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, here today or maybe tomorrow, I'm going to post the planetary spheres as we of this order know them and have worked with them, and as people in this order has worked with them for 50 years, some of them, and some almost 200 years collectively. So it's worked for us. That's all I can say. So I'm going to post what each planetary sphere is known for and why you would go to each or visit and channel from each planetary sphere depending on the purpose. I'm also going to tell you the correct vibrational correspondences to connect you with that particular sphere. I am going to, for sake of example and because we are looking to assume God forms, I'm going to direct all our attention right now at Tapareth, but on the blog I'm going to give for each and every one. So, if you are going to start your book of planetary influence, and we're starting at Tapareth. It doesn't matter where you start at, per se, in the book, but at least, basically when I say book, our book is a very special box with 14 different books within inside it. Each book belongs to a particular sphere or subsphere. Now, there's 10 commonly known Sephiroth. We don't have a book for the hidden Sephiroth, which is located somewhere around here in what's called the Abyss. And that's a whole other work. But there are 4 in Malkuth. There's the Fire Kingdom, the Earth Kingdom, the Water Kingdom, and the Air Kingdom. That's why we have 14. I'm sorry, 13. My math is bad. We do have 14, but that's the other one, and I'm not going to talk about that one. So get a book that is just solely for Tapareth. You might want to buy a book that's kind of gold or yellowy, something with a sun symbol on it, something with a cross on it. That works too. That's all correct symbolism for this particular Sephiroth. The planetary symbol for this is the sun. Now, a sigil, something I mentioned in the video prior. A sigil is a geometric pattern that instantly links your subconscious to the subconscious of another or another place. Focusing on that geometric pattern or sigil and carrying that around with you creates strong vibrational correspondences so that beings, entities, intelligences, and energies of that particular planetary sphere or personal spirit surround you and are in constant contact with you. So, let's say that I am setting up to do some automatic writing for my solar book, within my book of planetary influences. I find a place that I'm not going to be bothered, or if people are going to be around, they also have something of the planetary sphere of the sun in their mind so they can help direct that energy and bring that energy closer to me. Generally, I do this kind of work alone. I'll find a place, I'll draw a circle or trace a circle. Every single fucking pagan book has their own way of doing it. Find the way you want. Doesn't really matter. You're creating a miniature universe within inside the circle so that things don't leak in, things don't link out. You're basically creating a vessel for this energy so it can begin to cultivate, collect, and at some point even reach a critical mass. But that's not something we're generally doing right now, and I won't go into it. So, create a space that you can work within. I generally like to do it at a small writing table. Some people do it on the floor, whatever. I will drape on my writing table a gold or yellow cloth, okay, because that is the color of Taparath. I also will have a gold and or yellow candle, okay? And I'll generally have 6 gold or yellow candles because 6 is the number of Taparath, okay? I will also have a picture or a figurine of a rooster or a lion and even a pelican. Or, now here's the interesting thing about the pelican. Google alchemical symbol pelican. What you'll find is a pelican that has pierced its own body with its beak, and it's feeding its children with its blood. That is a very old Christ symbol. So I'll have one of those 3 or maybe all of them. Okay? I will also have an image of a cross, especially the old Celtic circle cross, which is a solar cross. These are the better ones. Okay? I will also burn some frankincense, which is the smell of Taparath. I will also have some sort of pine wood, pine something or other, because that is the tree associated with Taparath. All right? Gold, as an actual physical gold. I have a small gold ring that I use for this that I put out in front of me. This also has the energy of Taparath. All right? And I will get from the Rider-Waite Tarot deck only. I do not use anything from the Aleister Crowley deck, and I think most of the tarot decks are garbage. If I was, well, nah, never mind. So I'll get all the 6s out: the 6 of Wands, the 6 of Cups, the 6 of Discs, and the 6 of Swords. All of those contain the Taparath energy in a different way, and influenced by different astrological occurrences. And I will get the Sun card. The Sun card is not necessarily related to Taparath, but one of the paths that lead to Taparath. But that's okay. It's a Sun card. And if I can, maybe a picture of the sun somewhere. Okay? And even better, I'll do it on a sun day, and I'll do it within one of the hours of the sun, which is charts and symbols and whatnot that you can find out by yourself. So I'll put all these things together. Now, my book itself is a goldeny yellow sun book, and I even go so far to use gold-colored ink when I write the channeled writings. Okay? In fact, our entire book of planetary spheres is correctly color-coded for each particular sphere, and all the components of them are worked together so that when we enter into this state, we are directly connecting as strongly as we can to that planetary sphere so that there's no other influences coming in. At that point, I have particular entities that I've met within the sphere of Taparath that I will call their names out to, and they will generally immediately come or bring in somebody else that I can work with because they're busy. Okay? The energy of Apollo, the energy of Sol are very strong. Now, people worry, well, what if I go to these places and they're mean to me? Okay, nothing's going to be mean to you at the true center, the true Taparath, okay? It may encourage you to be a better person, and they may call you out on some stuff, but this is a place of pure healing, inspiration, and higher aspiration, a realm that is truly, truly awe-inspiring and is all about achieving a higher level and a higher purpose, getting people and humans to find out who and what they are supposed to be and do and achieve their highest potential. It is vital. It is the full emulation of a sacrificial power that says, I will give a little bit of me so that the others can have. Okay. On the inverse, you have what is the. Now I'm going to let it out. You have the Antichrist energy of the Kulak that says, I'm going to sacrifice everyone else for me. Again, Bible bullshit. Okay, absolute utter bullshit. Now we found out where the Bible comes from, and when you relate it back to the Bible, you will find out that the Bible is nothing but an allegorical story that is low in comparison to the true magician arts of what is commonly known as the Kabbalah. So, if you are ever in fear, though, for some reason, call out to Apollo or Sol and say, please, I am here in effort to learn. Now this goes for every single planetary sphere. You call out the highest name there, everything understands their hierarchy within these spheres, and they leave you alone because you've done it in the name of their highest entities of that sphere. They won't mess with those entities. They can't, and they wouldn't even if they could. So, I allow myself to open up to these planetary influences. Since we're on Taparath, I open myself up to the sphere of Taparath. I see in my mind's eye the brightest image of the planetary symbol of the sun. And I call out the names, all right, and I begin to write. Here's the freaky thing. Well, I say freaky because it was freaking me out then, and you know, it's still, wow, it still gives me chills. But there are entities that I've met in Taparath and other places that I will write down their names and symbols, and then I'll go through the book, and I'll find a entry 10, 15 years earlier by someone else with the same name, same sigil. Okay? So these things are real. They do exist, and they will help you. I go to Taparath whenever I feel like I've contacted some sort of Transplatonian being and I need to be washed free of this. I go to Taparath when I need to find out why something isn't working. Am I sticking with my great work? Am I living my highest truths? I go to Taparath when someone else needs healing. I go to Taparath when I feel I just need someone to tell me it's going to be okay. And I go to Taparath for many, many reasons, and I will put it in the blog as to why I do that. But I always keep my writings of Taparath with other writings of Taparath. I have picked up the book of Taparath and just shown it to each and every direction and cleared places of Transplatonian entities. The planetary energies contained in each of these sub-books of our book of planetary realms is fantastic. And even people with no interest in the occult, when they get close to this book or box, they want to open it. They're like, what is this? And they can't get it out of their minds because it is so strong and so pure. We've kept these writings that people just want in and in and in. And, you know, because of the nature of those, they're very closely guarded writings to our order, but we want other people to start having the same influences and same encounters, you know, that sort of thing. So automatic writing is very simple. You just put pen to paper and allow your mind to go blank. The trick is to fill your mind and fill your personal space with energetic patterns that come purely from one particular source, and you will get very, very strong results. I promise you, that is just the way to do it. So what you're doing with, now, hold on, I'm probably going to do part 3. Be right back.